From the deep southeast corner of Arizona to the bright city lights of Las Vegas, this is McKenzie Kimbrough, a sixth-generation cattle rancher with deep roots in rodeo too. Embracing our heritage and keeping legacies alive, stay tuned as we showcase shades of our southwestern lifestyle coming together during the NFR. Ranching, rodeo, fashion, and cowboy culture. This is Roots Run Deep, Vegas edition. Hey friends, welcome in to Roots Run Deep Vegas edition. I'm your host, McKenzie Kimbrough, and joining me on the show today is Shelly VanderPoel of Glitzy Bella. Thank you so much for being with me today. Before we get things kicked off and started and talking about all things fashion, I'd love for people to get to know you a little bit more. Tell us about your roots and where you come from, Shelly.
My name is Shelly VanderPoel. I'm from Southern California originally. I married my husband, who is a dairyman, and dairies moved up north in California 20 years ago. So we live in the middle of the country. My nearest neighbor is 2 miles away. We have dairies. He does his thing. I do mine, which is fashion. At the end of our street is the Pixley Water Tower. So Green Gables or Green Acres is the famous show. So it's kind of the joke in our neighborhood that I'm Zsa Zsa and is it Eddie Albert? I don't know. I've never seen the show, but yeah. So.
Oh, that's awesome. So definitely rural rooted and
Yes.
Quite the juxtaposition to the brand that you have now. But I also know that the brand you have now, Glitzy Bella, didn't exactly start at the place that it is now with all of the luxurious furs and sparkles and everything else. How did you get the creative idea to start a business of your own originally?
Well, I grew up in fashion.
You're
we
good.
start over?
Yes, yeah.
Well, I grew up in fashion. My parents, who made it and are in the audience, owned a clothing store when I was growing up. So I was used to going to the LA Mart, just being in fashion my whole life. So after I had 4 kids, I was always a creative mind. Glitzy Bella started as Glitzy Baby with a rhinestone pacifier. And I put them in all of the celebrity gift lounges, and many, many famous people had them. And I put them in a showroom in LA, and some of the famous stores started to carry our line. And after about 4 years, I changed the name to Glitzy Bella, and now it's all women's wear, fashion, vintage furs.
It's a really luxurious brand, too. One of the things you're most well known for, of course, those vintage furs and really statement pieces that are going to be closet staples for years to come as well. I'd love to know kind of the thought process behind what you do, because I saw somewhere you use trendy yet classic styles, and you're trying to make them cost affordable as well. Talk a little bit about the mentality there.
Well, we're just trying to bring fashion to the everyday person, which is what I feel that I am. Mm-hmm. I've always liked glitz and glam, to be bougie, to see the bougie. People know that follow our Instagram. And so we carry trendy fashion along with very well-known brands like Free People, Show Me Your Moo, Steve Madden. My girls have started helping in my business, and I'm just so blessed. My oldest daughter is 27. She's my assistant. She's my right-hand person. Basically, I come up with creative ideas and she implements them. And my younger daughter just graduated and she's working hard for me now. We're in the middle of Black Friday, retail season, the fourth quarter, so.
Fourth quarter, of course, the highest grossing quarter for retail, and really that's exemplified here at the National Finals Rodeo. This is basically the Western industry's version of Fashion Week, and your brand is one of the shining stars of all of that. Of course, lots of influencers and lots of really notable people have been wearing your clothes lately. I'd love to hear about some of these highlights. I know there's been some celebrity sightings of Glitzy Bella pieces here recently. Talk us through that.
There has. So in last year, I decided to kind of rebrand and up-level Glitzy Bella as much as I could. Mm-hmm. And when my daughter graduated college, I thought, you know what? I am going to go spend a month in Paris, get an apartment, just immerse myself in fashion because Paris is 4 to 5 years ahead of the States. And I just knew to take Glitzy Bella to the next level, we have to be on the cutting edge of trends. So 1 month turned into 3 months. I went back 3 times. And doing so, we would go to the vintage designer stores and try things on, myself and my daughters, and just for fun. And people started blowing up our Instagram like, I want that, I want that. Well, then the next trip, I went in January and it was winter, and I found a vintage furrier, and it took off from there. So when I got home, we did a vintage fur try-on of furs from Paris, and Ella Langley's people saw it. So they asked if we would supply her with furs for her hungover tour that she just wrapped up, which turned into multiple outfits. So thank you, Steph and her whole team. So recently, she wore a vintage designer Fox coat to the CMA Awards on the red carpet with a 4-foot-long train. And it was actually just chosen to be in the Country Music Hall of Fame with her red dress. So we have that at our booth, 3501 at Cowboy Christmas on display.
That's really neat for people to be able to come see that look in person. It's so iconic. And as you mentioned, it's going to be in the hallowed halls of something that is, housed a lot of history through the years. And it's so neat to know that you're going to have a piece in that as well. I'd love to know, what was your first thought when that team reached out to you? Were you excited, nervous, just ready to roll with the punches at that point?
Yes, the girl that was modeling the furs just at my showroom with me, she had been working for me for a couple years, and actually her best friend was Ella's manager.
Perfect.
So she saw her in the try-ons, and she was like, hey, Ella's stylist needs these furs. We're thinking of doing something almost like a Morgan Wallen walkout, where he comes out with his, couple friends. Ella wanted to walk out on stage in a fur and then, take it off after the first couple choruses.
Sure,
So,
that whole performance might be hard to maintain in a full fur coat, but the stunning, eye-catching moment to kick it all off, of course, the vision is sure there. Recently, this week here during the national finals, speaking of Ella Langley, the group of Ella Langley, Lainey Wilson, and Miranda Lambert, their moms have created quite the moms club, I think is what they call themselves.
Yep.
They were here in Vegas this week, and you had the opportunity to get to know them and style them for something pretty special.
Yeah, Ella's manager reached out and just said, they're coming to Vegas during NFR. They've never been to Cowboy Christmas to watch her daughter, Lainey Wilson, perform at the concert. Would you be willing to have them at your booth and dress them? And of course, I said, absolutely. This actually happened during setup, so I didn't know if this was going to happen or not. And sure enough, they came to the booth. I met them at the front. They are an absolute hoot. Stay tuned. I don't know if a reality show is in the works, but our followers and people just love them. And they don't really know each other that well. They just met at the CMAs. And they were telling me, Ella has just rose to fame so quickly. Ella had told her mom, talk to Miranda Lambert's mom, because it's a very different industry. And they're legendary moms, really, that have raised these icons. So
they have, and it's so neat to see these women that are so powerful in country music also still standing on a strong foundation of community and staying rooted in the love for the Western way of life and all of that comes with that. And it's really inspiring to watch those girls and those women have amazing careers, but it's even more inspiring to get to know the moms that helped them build to that, because of course there's a team of people behind everybody, and we can't do any of it without our mamas.
Their stylists, the moms. And, Ella's manager did tell me this group of girls loves their moms so much. And now, I'm still texting Ella Langley's mom. In fact, they took more pictures. They went to the rodeo on Pink Night and wore more pieces of ours. We're still texting like we're friends. They were the most real people It was so fun.
I saw some content with them. They also walked in a fashion show here this week as well for a brand called Rodeo Quincy, and
They did.
you could just kind of tell they are fun having, and
Oh, yeah.
they are bonding quickly. They haven't known each other that long, but they have that mutual understanding of having daughters that have risen to fame and that are still rooted and still grounded, and family is still at the heart of all of that. So it's really cool to see that they're having these amazing experiences,
I know.
and yet they're still sticking together through it all. That's pretty special.
A good support system.
Definitely. Of course, that being one of the highlights of the NFR, you're here for the long haul, and this is Western Fashion Week, as they say. Talk a little bit about your experience and your take on Western fashion when it comes to blending in these luxurious and elegant pieces like the furs and the sequins and all of the beautiful, trendy things as well.
Well, we're just trying to bring a different touch to the Western world. My youngest daughter, Ava, that just graduated Fresno State, she was on the college rodeo team. She's a barrel racer. So, although I'm not an outdoorsy person because I grew up in the city, I live in the middle of the country. I mean, and my daughter, we've come to Cowboy Christmas and I've gone to horse races for over a decade. So I felt like I knew kind of the look. Now let's put the Glitzy Bella touch on it. And of course, sequins, fringe, leather, fur, it just all goes together. So when I was in Paris, I mean, that was the intent because this is our biggest event of the year. We plan for it from July on, go to multiple fashion trade shows, literally New York, Paris, Dallas. We've been everywhere, and we're actually going somewhere very exciting that I just found out. The Kimosabi owners reached out and asked if we would do a vintage fur trunk show at the Kimosabi, the original in Aspen, during New Year's.
Wow.
Which, if you've seen anything, just Google Kimosabi Aspen New Year's. I mean, Jeff Bezos, J-Lo. So we're just thrilled. I haven't even announced it yet on my Instagram. This whole thing has just kind of snowballed. It's really a God thing.
It is. It's so fun to see how God has a plan for all of us and how he opens doors that we may not have even realized were there at the start.
Yep.
And it's cool to know that you're such a woman that's rooted in fashion and in family, having your girls being able to work with you and experience all these things alongside of you. How special is that, too?
I'm just so blessed. I mean, my girls, they love fashion. I'm biased, but they're beautiful. So it's easy to put them in something. They love everything we carry. They help make the decisions. Carry this, carry that. What do you think about this trend? So they're slowly getting involved very fast to help me out because we've grown so much. In fact, while we're here, I rent a Glitzy Bella house and we bring our entire warehouse here just to ship every day. The online website is going 24 hours a day. So my older daughter, Sarah, is the manager of the booth, and my younger daughter is there with Jordan, and they're just shipping your orders every day. So
it's a team effort, that's for sure. And
yes.
It's so neat to see the success that you're having and how rapidly you're able to scale this business. These opportunities that are coming to you are so special, and it's an honor to know you now. We've just met a couple days ago for the first time, but I've been a fan of the brand for quite some time, and it's easy to see that you guys are out there hustling and doing a really good job and also trying to bring these quality pieces to everybody. It's so much fun.
Because I know you're friends with Shelly, too. And we just designed a collection, the West Desperado by Glitzy Bella collection. That started in August, and that has just been a fantastic success. People love her. She basically handpicked them with us, bringing her to these different vendors, which were some of the best. So
it's always neat to see those influencer collaborations as well. Of course, social media has played such a big role in the retail industry the last couple of years, specifically in the Western fashion industry. I feel like so many of us are rural rooted and we don't all get together all the time.
Yeah.
And so being able to connect on social media with these brands and these influencers and style these looks and then come out to something like the NFR or wear your pieces to special events in people's lives. I know a lot of these would work really well for elegant evenings, also concerts and nights out. honestly, you have such a wide range of availability of things to offer. It's really quite amazing, actually,
Thank
the brand
you.
that you've created, Shelly.
We tried. Like this piece, this just came in literally yesterday.
Yes.
So we've been shipping to the Glitzy Bella house. So every day, even on the floor and the website, new arrivals. I was like, wow, I think I'll wear this tomorrow. So
How can people follow along with you online and then also come visit with you here in Las Vegas?
online, the website is glitzybella.com. And our booth number, we're at the Las Vegas Convention Center, is 3501. We're all the way at the back. Make a right at row 3500. We're just before Bloomer Trailers, and there's 2 bars and husband parking, we call it, because the men, they see all this glitz and furs, and they're like, what do I do? And then our Instagram, I do all the stories. So you get a real life look into my life, and just, I'm a real person, my family, my husband, Ron. He's kind of the star of my, people love Ron. He's the complete opposite of me, doesn't like to dress up, likes to be on the dairy. My parents in the audience are a huge help. My dad comes basically every day to the warehouse and brings all the boxes, packages, which could be hundreds.
Yeah.
So our Instagram is GlitzyBella1.
Perfect. Before I let you go, one last question. What are some of the future goals? I know you've got a lot of momentum going right now. You probably couldn't have dreamed of some of the things that are opportunities that are coming your way at the moment. But if you could just think ahead a couple years from now, what are some celebrities you'd want to see your pieces on, or people you'd want to collaborate with, or are we really just rolling with the punches at this point? Because these opportunities are they just keep coming your way.
You know what? We've been a part of the First Ladies Luncheon.
Yeah.
And we've gotten to gift Melania. She's a style icon to a lot of people.
Yep.
And I got to give her jewelry at the First Ladies Luncheon and 2,000 congressional spouses, which is a blending of the two parties. It's 111 years old. So really, we've done so much. I kind of can't even dream of what's next. I'm just going with it.
Yeah.
Praying every night. I started reading my devotion in the morning, like Shelly, just come from a good place when you start out your day. Remember what's important. So
when you stay rooted in faith, it all seems to work out, whether we see the path ahead clearly or not. And it's amazing what you're doing, and it's such an honor to have had you on the show today. Thank you so much
for having me.
I really appreciate you being here. You guys, be sure to go check out Shelly's business at Glitzy Bella here at the Las Vegas Convention Center Cowboy Christmas. Follow along with all of their adventures online. Surely there is plenty more to come. Shelly, thanks for being here. That'll wrap it up for this episode of Roots Run Deep Vegas Edition. There's more to come. We'll see y'all next time. Hey friends, welcome in to Roots Run Deep Vegas Edition. I'm your host, McKenzie Kimbrough, and joining me on the show now is one of my sweet friends, McKollum. McKenzie's a trend on the theme of the day, I think. There's a lot of us at the NFR this year that are named McKenzie. Really excited to have you on the show today. I'd love to share more about your heart and your fashion influencer journey and all of that, but before we get into it, tell me a little bit about your roots and where you come from.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is McKenzie McCollum. I am born and raised from Fort Worth, Texas. I am a mom of 3. I have a 6-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 7-month-old. And we are just busy life. And I actually started my fashion journey, I would say, because I became a mother, and I just really wanted to find my own unique style and make myself feel beautiful again, find my pink again. And so that's kind of where this whole online journey has originated from, was from motherhood.
And of course, motherhood being something so sacred, so special, and so relatable in what you said there, wanting to find your pink again, as they say, with all of that. I think it's something that a lot of women are starting to talk about, because it's not something that used to be talked about maybe as much. You focus on, raising a family, being a mom, and that's such a huge blessing. But in the meantime of all of it, you don't want to lose yourself either. And you've got passions and projects that you want to follow. And so, of course, you jumped into this social media content creation side of things. When that idea first sparked, how did you get started?
That's a great question. Honestly, I don't know. I truly feel like it was a God thing.
Yeah.
I had really struggled after having my son, finding myself. I got really lost in motherhood and the busyness of it all. I just didn't feel like I knew who I was anymore. So I actually went on a cowgirl influencer, so to speak, retreat. And the whole purpose behind that was to make myself feel comfortable in my own skin again. And I really think it did just that. And so from there, I just started feeling as if I needed to put myself out there a little bit more, not care about what anybody thinks, and just find my own unique style. And through that, I really found my own voice. I found that I became a better mother because I really, truly was able to separate myself from motherhood and find who I was again through it.
And it's such a creative outlet too. I feel like those of us that are in the fashion side of things for social media content, we're leading a busy life outside of it. And there's that side of our brain that just wants to be unleashed. And we get to do that through our creativity and our fashion and our outfits and our content creation and all of that. When you first started posting, that's kind of scary and intimidating right off the bat. You don't start with an audience. So talk about the authenticity that comes with it. And when you first started to now, I know that you've been pretty much the same person. Honestly, I've been able to follow your journey. And I would say pretty much because I feel like you've opened up even more as the time has gone by. It's been so fun to watch this journey for you and to see you, bloom and have all these opportunities and work with these amazing brands. But at the root of it all, talk about the importance of that authenticity from the beginning.
Yeah, I think that is a part of content creation that really separates you from the rest because everybody is out there looking to find relatable content in a way that makes them also feel seen. So as a mom, I do think there's a lot that is not spoken. And so when I started to post, I started to get people in my messages saying, I can relate to that. I feel seen. And that just drove me to want to continue to post more, continue to open up and share more about my life. And as through motherhood and posting, and I just had another baby, I continue to share the struggles through it, struggles through pregnancy, postpartum, and then still trying to find my true self through it all. I really found a lot of people resonated with that, and it just gave me a purpose to want to continue to do it and drive to more and succeed and reach more people than I ever could.
And building that community is really so important to not only the sustainability of doing something like this as a business, but the whole heart behind it is to share things that you love and share brands that you love and also build community along the way with these like-minded women that can see themselves in what you're sharing, and it inspires them, it empowers them, and I think that's such a beautiful thing to be able to help others build their confidence back alongside you. You're doing such an amazing job at it. I'd love to talk a little bit about your experiences with NFR because, of course, we are here in Las Vegas. We have a styling segment coming up in a few minutes here to talk about your personal style and all of that. But coming out to the NFR, this is the Western Fashion Week, as they say, and we're busy out here. There's a lot of engagements. We're watching the rodeo, we're supporting the athletes, and then we're also working with all of these amazing brands. Walk me through what your year looks like here at the finals this year.
So at the finals, honestly, leading up has been very stressful. I think I put a little bit more pressure on myself to really put myself out there and stand out amongst the crowd. Everyone is here showing up in their own unique style, and I wanted to do the same. So I really kind of put a little bit too much pressure on myself this year, trying to plan outfits and make sure that it was uniquely me, but in a way that I could stand out. So it has been a whirlwind. It's been so much fun. I love the NFR, not just for the fashion, but also for that community. We build a community online and we don't really get to see each other throughout the year. So this is just such a fabulous time to be able to connect with each other one-on-one, embrace everybody's individuality, their unique styles, and it's just been an absolute blast.
And I think that really comes back to the idea of like women supporting women. There is a good community of all of us out here that are supportive of each other, and the naysayers can, stay on their corner of the internet, and that's fine. But the rest of us are out here trying to build each other up and, complimenting each other's outfits. And there is a lot of pressure that we put on ourselves, I think, more than anything, because we get messages from people saying, can't wait to see what you wear at the NFR and all of this stuff. And that's great because we all love the fashion of it. And as long as we don't kind of overthink it, then it is a lot of fun. And it always seems to work out, even if you have to kind of wing an outfit at the last minute. Your style carries through. It's very timeless, very classy, and it's neat to see the way that you put things together. As I mentioned, we'll have a styling segment with you here momentarily, talk about some NFR trends and things like that. But while we're here and seated and opening our hearts a bit, I'd love to hear your perspective on being a mom and having a business outside of the goal of finding yourself again. But how do you balance it all? That's always a trick question, I feel like, for a lot of moms. You have 3 kids, one of which is a baby under a year old, and that's a lot. You're a wife, you're a mom, you're a business owner. How does that look day to day, and how do you keep it all rolling?
Day to day is how it is. And not only am I in this content creation space and a mom and a wife, I also am a full-time corporate employee. So I do have a full-time corporate job that I work every single day on top of all of it. So some days are harder than others, and I just go with the flow. A lot of it is scheduling things out in advance. On top of that, having an amazing partner and husband that is extremely helpful in a lot of things. If I need to step away for a moment, he's right there to support me. And so I think that really helps. But it is a lot. And as a mom, one thing I don't want to do is be on my phone 24/7 when I'm with my children. So finding quality time with my kids to invest in them and then setting the rest aside. Even if it's a late night, then I got to do that because at the end of the day, my kids and my husband are my number one priority. And if I continue to do that, put them first, put God first, and the rest will fall as it may.
Yeah. And I love that. Priorities of family, faith first, and then the rest will come. And that's a beautiful way to live your life. You're such an inspiration. Really excited to get into the fashion side of things with you. So we're going to get things reset, and we'll be right back. Well, friends, welcome back to Roots Run Deep Vegas edition. I'm here with McKenzie McCollum. She is not only an influencer, social media content creator, and one of the most stylish gals in the Western world, she is also a wife and a mama. She has a full-time corporate job outside of everything, a master's degree. She's a well-rounded gal, and this is not your sole gig, but it is definitely something that you're very good at. So, of course, I couldn't just have you up here for an interview and not take advantage and have you do a styling segment with me. We've got some pieces pulled together here from our friends at Stetson, Turquoise and Style, and Alamo Saddlery. Before we get into talking about all of these details, describe your own personal style a bit.
Yeah, so I really love the timeless, chic, elevated look with Western elements. I really like some outfits that are statement pieces that can last through a lifetime, really, and can be passed down. Something that can be dressed up with a cowgirl hat, some turquoise, or just a little bit of minimalistic jewelry, I think is my go to. So that's kind of what I like.
And I think that goes right along with something that is quote unquote trending for the NFR this year, that classic cowgirl alongside the Ralph Lauren aesthetic and that elevated look that really can come together in so many ways. These 2 outfits are amazing. Let's go ahead and start talking about the details at the one closest to you.
Yeah, so this one right here, I think the suede fringe is very, very in style right now. It's timeless. It can pair with pretty much anything. So what I did here is I just paired it with one of their pearl snap button-ups, which I also love. Yes. I love a good corporate cowgirl vibe. So here I put out the brown suede to kind of go with the detailing here. And then we've got these brown boots from Stetson. They're absolutely beautiful and really tie well in with the coloring here. And then these jewels from Turquoise and Style are absolutely beautiful. Some brown elements, white buffalo. It just really brings out the details in this outfit. And I just love the suede. It is a very timeless piece.
Definitely. And suede is huge this year. And it's always been something that Stetson has done so well. Those suede fringe jackets specifically, there are several styles of them in the booth this year. So really, depending on what look you're going for, there's different shades of suede, different styles of these jackets, lengths, all of it. So that's a really great resource to get those because they're investment pieces that you're also going to be using year after year, which I think is so important when it comes to Western fashion, is building kind of a capsule wardrobe. The other thing that I want to point out before we move to this other look, the combination of kind of that powder blue with the chocolate brown is beautiful. It's something that I think a lot of people may not think to put together. Of course, we love our chocolate browns with our denims, but these powder blue elements are really kind of a timeless take on that classic idea of denim and brown, and it's something unique and fresh at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think really anything with a suede brown or chocolate is really in right now with a beautiful pop of a color. You can't go wrong.
Other colors that are kind of trending this season, chocolate and kind of a burgundy Merlot wine vibe, which is what I'm getting from this leather jacket here closer to me. When you put this look together, what was the thought process? Walk me through it.
Yeah, so the thought process with this is exactly that, girl. The burgundy wine color is so trendy. It's one of my favorite styles. I absolutely love the color pairing with the black. It's very sleek and elevated and also can be styled a million different ways. I really wanted to kind of bring out some of the color with this necklace here. It is just gorgeous. I think it's a perfect color match with this sleek cinched dress right here. I think it's a perfect nighttime fit.
Definitely. And I think these looks, of course, they're stunning and beautiful for the NFR, very on trend, very in style. But these are pieces that you're going to be able to restyle in your wardrobe throughout the year for years to come. And then these looks are, you mentioned kind of corporate cowgirl on the look over there. These are easily built into somebody's lifestyle outside of just coming to something like the NFR. You can dress them up for special occasions and then repurpose them as well.
Yes, and that is one thing that I have really tried to do at the NFR. I think it's very important to make sure that you style pieces that you can wear again. You don't want to spend money on items you're only going to want to wear once and then have to never just sit in your closet or never wear again. So that is kind of my take on fashion is buy pieces you can wear again, you can restyle and make it your own each time.
Even when it comes to the accessories, of course, the beautiful jewelry pieces from Turquoise and Style are going to be around for years and years to come. Those are heirloom pieces that you can pass down for generations, and I know as a mom that's important to you. But even when it comes to the accessories, like our tooled leather handbags and things, Alamo Saddlery has a piece up here as well. I love this style and size of purse because it is, concert venue, stadium venue friendly. It's small enough, but it also carries everything that you need. Why did you pick this one specifically? I know there's some details on it that are pretty.
Yes, honestly, this bag, you cannot go wrong with anything from Alamo Salary. They have the perfect collection, but I love the size of this. And then the colors I really thought brought out this outfit very well with the browns. It has a little bit of the turquoise element, and the cowhide is like the perfect touch. I just absolutely love it. I thought it paired really well. It's the perfect bag for any daytime or nighttime look.
With pieces like this, these tooled leathers and the beautiful stones and silver, and then also the embroidered details, the fringe, all of that is so true to a Western wardrobe, and then also easy to incorporate in, a business setting or anything like that. So it's great to buy these pieces that are going to stand the test of time. I love the looks that you've created here. I love all of your looks and everything about you. How can people follow along with all that you're doing?
Yeah, absolutely. You can follow my handle on Instagram. It's McCollum McKenzie on Instagram, and then McKenzie McCollum on TikTok. I've been sharing a lot of behind the scenes, my thought process on getting ready, dressing myself for the NFR, and I will continue to do so afterwards.
Can't wait to continue keeping up with you. McKenzie, thank you so much for being with me today. This has been McKenzie McCollum on Roots Run Deep Vegas edition. We'll be back with so much more. When you're in a pinch and need a quick and easy dessert recipe, a store-bought cake mix is my go-to. But I like to doll it up a bit with a warm and creamy peanut butter sauce using a few key ingredients that you definitely have in your pantry. Here's how to whip that up quick. We'll start with 4 tablespoons of creamy peanut butter, a 5-ounce can of evaporated milk, and a 14-ounce can of sweetened condensed milk. This is the good stuff. Plus just about a tablespoon of brown sugar and a teaspoon of agave syrup. We'll stir that together just until it's smooth and creamy, and then you're ready to pour it over your cake. Since chocolate and peanut butter is such a classic combination, I went and whipped up a triple fudge cake mix, and just drizzling this peanut butter sauce right over the top takes it to the next level. If this is a recipe that you need, or if you want something like it, pick up a copy of my cookbook, Roots Run Deep, Our Ranching Tradition. Hey friends, welcome into Roots Run Deep Vegas edition. I'm your host, McKenzie Kimbrough, and joining me now is another one of my sweet friends, Miss Cara LeFevour. She's recently married. Just figured out how to pronounce the last name myself. But Cara, thank you so much for being here today. You're one of the top Western fashion influencers in the industry. You create so much great social media content, and I'm really excited to share your story with everyone today because there's a lot that people I think don't know about you. So we've got a lot to get to. But before all of that, let's take it back to your roots, where you come from. Tell us all about it.
So I am from Texas originally. I grew up in Arlington. My family's all still there. And then I moved around quite a few cities. After college, I've lived in New York, Chicago, LA on a cruise ship. And now I'm in Chicago outside of it with my husband.
When you were first starting into a career, of course, University of Texas at Austin played a part in that. Talk a little bit about the education and what you thought you were going to do with your career.
Oh man, well, I got a degree in theater and dance. That's what I landed on. That's my background. But I hopped around there too. I did fashion merchandising. I did pre-vet.
Just a little pre-vet in fashion merchandising,
Yeah,
just
you
a
know.
normal degree plan.
But I did end up back with my roots in performance.
So that kind of went a few different ways. And there's some things, this is kind of getting to the point where, some things that people may not know about you. I know there was some time spent in the Disney world of things.
Yes.
You were friends with some people. You were also a stunt woman.
Yes.
And we'll lead to that and your husband later. But there's been some involvement in the Disney side of things. And I think that's so special and so fun. And a little known fact, maybe. I think maybe becoming more known now. But talk us through what that experience was like.
Oh man, it was my favorite job ever. It still is. I miss it so much. I lived out in California. I moved there for acting and auditioned and started to work at Disneyland as a character performer. I hired in and hung out with Belle and hung out with Elsa, and then I eventually went into the Avengers stunt show as well as Black Widow. But it was truly magical.
So stunts are kind of something that don't always go hand in hand with being friends with the princesses and all the pretty dresses, and not necessarily something that goes first thing when people think of acting either. How did you decide that stunts were something that you even wanted to try your hand at?
Oh man, I didn't even know actually. So I was performing at Disneyland, and my friend who hung out with Beast actually was taking some fighting for film classes, and I thought it sounded fun.
Yeah.
I grew up in competitive dance, and so fighting for film is essentially just choreography and body movement and awareness. And so I started taking those classes and training, and I really enjoyed it, and just kind of started to work, and it snowballed from there.
And honestly, it seems like such a unique opportunity that a lot of people don't even know the behind the scenes of, because it is so magical, and we won't get too into the behind the scenes of it. But along the way, at some point, there was a special man that came into your life.
Oh, yes.
And stunts have something to do with a lot of what he does.
Yes, very much so. So my husband is a stunt man and a stunt coordinator. It's in his family. His dad did it as well. And we met through the industry, but on Instagram actually, because I was living in LA, he was living in Chicago. And that's also a wild story that's possibly too long for this interview. I don't know. But we essentially were following each other for 4 years on Instagram before we even started talking. And then the rodeo is what got us talking.
Okay, wait, now I have to know. Cliff Notes version, walk us through it, because
Okay.
this is you guys are quite the couple.
Yes. So basically, a friend of mine in LA worked for his family, tagged him in a photo. I thought he was cute, followed him, and we didn't talk for 4 years. And then I was home in Texas attending Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo. He saw I was there because he used to rodeo there.
Okay.
Commented on my Instagram story, and that's how we started talking.
Okay, a moment for the 4-year wait.
I know.
Talk about God has a plan and it's all in
Literally.
his timing.
It's crazy.
You guys just got married earlier this year, and that was such a special experience to get to see through all the photos and everything. I know, as someone who has been in the production side of things before, there was a lot of different elements that you brought in, which is great because all of us got to live vicariously and see all the beautiful photos and videos. And I know that you guys have such a great partnership. And along the way in your stunt career, something kind of side railed you, and talking about God's plan. He had
Oh,
another
man.
door to open for you. You may not have known it at the time, but tell us what happened and then how things got started with what you do now.
Yeah, well, there was an accident on set. I got hurt, and as it happens sometimes.
Sure.
But I was home, and that's when I attended the rodeo. I was home recovering.
Yep.
And so essentially that led to us starting to talk. And then I did get back into the industry after I healed.
Yep.
It was just looking a little different. And so then I ended up moving out to Chicago with him, and life got moving there. But I started to attend rodeos because of him and his family. And so I started having to wear Western attire. I didn't have to do that out in California. I was usually just in workout clothes because I would show up to set or show up to Disneyland and then get into costume. So I essentially just kind of like started to find my own style, and it was within the Western culture, which was special because it tied to my Texas roots. And yeah, it just continued from there. I was really looking for a creative outlet in that kind of low point in my life, and it was just God's plan.
And we're talking like this about this like it was so long ago. This has only all been within the last, 5 years at most.
2 years.
2 years, exactly. So even,
Yeah.
it feels like I've known you forever just
I
because of
know.
your bubbly personality and your heart and soul. And it's been so great to be able to see your journey. I didn't realize it was such a short journey. But it's amazing the success that you've had and the growth that you've seen. And when you first started creating content for social media, what was the mindset of being able to share your looks with people all across the country, all across the world, and kind of grow that community of gals that love the style too?
Yeah, I was just genuinely having fun. Like, I really didn't have a long term plan or goal. I was just craving creativity and connection and started sharing just outfits, and then found other gals who connected to it. And then it just kind of grew from there. And I was like, well, this is really fun. Like,
Yeah.
maybe we should all keep doing this together.
And I think it's fun to know that maybe you weren't as rooted in the Western way of life, but you loved it so much, and it's neat to see that as you've kind of come into it and have found your own style, that's something that you can be an inspiration in as well to all these ladies that follow you. Of course, there's those of us that are in it that were raised in it for generations, and then there's so many that are new to it. And I think it's great that there's such a welcoming space where it's lowering the barrier of entry to be a fan and to be someone who just wants to genuinely love and be a part of the Western way of life. And if dressing in that way is a small stepping stone to do it, then that's great. I think that being able to support some of these brands like the ones that you work with, which we'll talk about here momentarily, is a great way for people to get into the industry. And you know what? If they're supporting our Western-based businesses, our small businesses, our family-owned businesses, then I think that's so important because
Absolutely.
that all ties back. Those businesses are the ones that are already rooted here.
Yep.
And so it's a full circle deal. I know there's been some amazing opportunities that you've had to work with some really incredible brands. We're going to shine some light on them now. Talk about some of the most memorable moments.
Oh my goodness, there's been so many. I mean, I work with Double D a lot. As you can see, I'm wearing them now.
Yes, we love them.
Yes, that's been so special. I am really drawn to brands and fashion that have a story, a meaning, a history. I love pieces that just have a deeper meaning to them, and I think that's awesome. And I know the sisters design from their past and their childhood, so I'm really drawn to that. Oh man, I'm trying to think of some of the shoots I've done recently.
Well, there's been so many. I know. I feel like Westerly maybe was
Yes.
something that you partnered with here for the
Yes.
national finals.
That
Cowhide
was-
is huge,
oh my
so
goodness.
she's like blowing up.
Her pieces are awesome. I wore a set actually to the Lainey Wilson concert a few nights ago because I know that Lainey has worn her pieces, and so I met her before the concert, and so that was really exciting. I was so nervous, I panicked and just talked fashion with her the whole time.
That's
30
okay.
seconds.
It was a lot of talking in 30 seconds, I'm sure. And I feel like people probably all get that when they go to meet somebody as iconic as her. Is
Oh
they
my
walk
goodness,
in and they're like, man, I have all these things that I want to say. And you only get a certain amount of time. And then when you get in the moment, you're like, well, I don't know what I said, but I hope it was fun. That's a fun night that you had the other night. I know you've had a lot going on here at the National Finals Rodeo. You also walked in the Rodeo Quincy fashion show. That's another brand that's near and dear to our hearts.
So wonderful.
Oh,
They're
so rooted in Western and rodeo, and also so rooted in fashion. That's a multi-generational love and passion for them. How special was it to get to collab in that way?
Oh, completely special. And it's so funny because Rodeo Quincy was kind of like the beginning of my journey as well. So 2 years ago when Rick and I first started dating, he gave me one of my Christmas gifts was one of their bomber jackets, an NFR jacket. And that was like the first kind of like Western piece that I had. It was the very, very beginning. And so that was kind of like really special.
It is, and it's so neat to know that there's such a great family behind a brand like that, especially, here at the National Finals, they have so many rodeo athletes in their family as well. So getting to tie it all together, I think that's another good example of kind of lowering that barrier of entry for people who are interested in wanting to be a fan of our lifestyle, wanting to support the Western industry in a way by just being able to shop a brand that's so rooted, because they also do such a good job of sharing those roots and talking about the cowboy culture and, making it attainable for people to have those conversations and ask questions. And I think that's something that a lot of people don't even realize about Western fashion content creators is, we're out here sharing fashion and, things that we love, and it looks like it's just some frilly deal. But there's a lot of conversation that happens behind the scenes. And when we create these communities and these connections with people, I have so many people that message me, and I'm sure that you do too, because your reach is incredible, from all over the world, really, that are just, amazed by the cowboy lifestyle. And if we are the first step into them learning more about it, I'm all for it.
Oh, absolutely. I know I have messages from people like in Germany and like I don't know, like so many random countries, and they'll be like, I don't know anything about this, but like I'm here for it. I'm watching and I love it.
And cowboy's cool again in mainstream culture, which we appreciate. We take that as an opportunity to, build those connections and have those conversations. And speaking of styling, before I let you go today, I couldn't have you come on and not do a styling segment with me. So we're going to get things reset now and talk about that, talk about your personal style, NFR fashion trends, lots more to come. We'll be right back on Roots Run Deep Vegas edition. Well, friends, welcome back to Roots Run Deep Vegas edition. We're rounding out the show today with my sweet friend, Cara. You may know her as TX Cara on social media, one of the leading Western fashion influencers, content creators, and everything that you share is just so incredible. The style is impeccable, and it's something that you dress up and dress down in so many ways. So I couldn't let you come on the show and not do a styling segment with you, too. I'm going to take full advantage of all of my very talented friends in that way. Cara, we've got two amazing looks here today. I'd love for you to go ahead and start talking us through the first one.
Absolutely. Shall we start with this one?
Love it.
Okay, perfect. Well, I wanted to do layering. I'm all about layering. I kind of work in rules of three as far as the tops go a lot of times. And so I started with this lighter blue color underneath. I was really drawn to this darker denim to kind of offset that. And then the fringe over the top and the dark brown's just so popular right now. So that's kind of where I was going with that. And then for the jewelry, I wanted something that didn't take away from it, but just complemented it in a subtle way. Yeah. So that was my thought process there. Yeah.
There's so many great elements to this look. And of course, the jewelry coming from Turquoise in Style, that is a boss babe of a lady behind the business there, but she also does an amazing job of bringing in pieces that are so unique and so beautiful, which pair perfectly with pieces in the rest of the outfit from Stetson. They're, friends of the show, friends of the Western industry, and they have such a timeless capsule wardrobe concept when it comes to their collections every year. These suede jackets we'll never see go out of style.
Oh, no.
Their fringe is done well, the suede is high quality, and they even come in a few colors, which I think is great too, because that way you can pick the one that best flatters your skin tone, that you think you'll get the most wear out of, and those investment pieces, that's something that's so important. Talking about the layering, I also know that there's a little bit of like texture mixing, and we also aren't afraid to mix a print.
Absolutely.
Talk about, when you're layering these pieces together, of course you said rule of three, but don't be afraid to mix a little texture and print.
Oh, absolutely. I love doing that. It makes it more interesting. It always does. Obviously, I have like a few different layers on today and patterns as well. Yeah, but I always love throwing a denim in there, especially with like a suede or something. It just makes it interesting.
And tying in suede and leather together, I feel like something that most people don't even think about, but is a different way to elevate a look and keep it in the Western style. These are some stunning boots. We'll show close-ups for everybody at home, but these are Stetson. They have a tooled toe to them, and the leather color also ties into the handbag. That's coming from Alamo Saddlery, and I think these Western details, the stitching, the tooled leather, are so timeless and so beautiful. Why'd you pair these with this outfit?
I was really drawn to this toe.
Yeah.
I think it's so pretty, and it's also really versatile. The fact that you have the lighter brown and the darker brown, you're just going to be able to wear it with a lot more, and I'm all about that in my closet. I'm always choosing pieces that I'll be able to style with multiple outfits and restyle.
Sure. I think something that's so elevated when you're styling a look is those monochromatic ideas, but then also tonal. I think people are afraid to mix different shades of brown, and they shouldn't be, because they all are complementary of each other, and when done right in a look like this, is really elegant and beautiful. And there's another great look here that I'm standing next to, which is great because I'm loving this one. But bringing in that element of denim too, because that's something that's so true to the West.
Yes.
Walk me through your thought process with this one. It's a beautiful look.
Thank you. So I wanted to do something very different than this one. The florals, obviously, we're going bright, we're going girly and fun. And I wanted to still do a little layering and brought in the waist here. But I also couldn't decide if I wanted the belt on the outside. So that's also an option.
Yeah.
But this Stetson piece is actually a dress. I just decided to open it up. So that's another way that you can reuse some pieces in your closet. A little bit of versatility.
It also helps transition through seasons,
Yes.
because maybe we don't want to wear the full denim dress, but adding another layer as a duster idea is great. And I also think something people may not think of, this duster you've paired with a skirt. And I think a lot of people think you have to wear dusters with pants because of the length of them, but I'm loving the different lengths here. They're all very complementary to each other. Another suede moment with some epic fringe. This is a statement piece.
It is. I loved that fringe skirt. And I think it also works with the longer duster over it, because since you're not seeing a solid line at the bottom of the skirt, you're seeing, your legs through. It's a little bit see-through. I think it pairs nicely. It's not so heavy at the bottom.
There's fluidity and there's movement, and that's something so important with an outfit when you're talking about those different proportions and putting them together. I also love that you did bring in this concho belt. You mentioned you weren't sure if you wanted it in this layer or even over the outside, and I think either way would be gorgeous. Tying in these, silver and turquoise and beautiful stone details. Talk about this jewelry from Turquoise and Style and how well it pairs with this color combination.
Her booth was amazing. I was just blown away by everything. But again, I wanted something that was going to complement it. I loved these darker, chunky pieces. I thought it brought in even like the dark browns well. It just tied that darkness in. But then I loved the blue pop because it brought out the lighter blues in the shirt, and so it keeps it bright at the neck.
We've talked a lot about it this year in NFR trend predictions. Unique color combinations, those browns and blues together, are so beautiful, and it's something that I'm glad that we're seeing, be styled so many different ways. Of course, you mentioned these floral details of the shirt tying in with the embroidered details that Stetson is so well known for as well. They always do a great job with that. Talking a little bit too about pairing a tall boot with a skirt like this, that brings it into that, you said these lines aren't solid. There's a lot of motion in a look. You can absolutely do a tall boot with a skirt like this.
Absolutely, yeah. A booty would look well as well, like a short booty, but because the fringe is fluid and moving, the tall boot is totally fine.
We've got florals up top here, and that carries in through the handbag as well. This one's a really great example of the Alamo Saddlery tooling that they're known so well for. I love the shape of this one too.
I do too. I thought it was so cute. Very early 2000s little shoulder bag.
These could be day looks for the NFR, night looks also, and then you can also break these pieces apart or even wear these outfits throughout the year as well. I think that's such a great element when we're building a wardrobe, to have so many pieces that are versatile enough to carry through seasons for years to come, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely, and that's why I liked this top too, because it's so springy, but even if you did a dark suede jacket over it, then it's fall,
Yep. Building those wardrobe staples that you can pull for time and time again. Of course, the quality is there as well with Stetson, which we are so thankful for. Cara, you have such amazing style.
Thank you.
How can people follow along with you and all of your adventures, not only here at the NFR, but on socials all year long?
Well, I'm on Instagram as TX Cara as well as TikTok. And then next year, I actually am planning on transitioning into YouTube as well.
Amazing.
So we'll have a little bit longer videos where we can actually chat about what goes into my choices of styling.
Yeah, it's always fun to see what you pair together. Of course, I'm living for your NFR outfits this year. Thank you so much for coming on the show with me today, for spending time styling some looks as well, giving some more inspiration. You're amazing. I love your heart, and the smile and soul that you bring to everything is just so beautiful.
Thank you.
This has been Cara LeFevour on Roots Run Deep Vegas edition. That'll wrap it up for this episode. We'll see y'all next time.